What's up, guys? You're at Flip with Rick, and today we are talking about how to earn $25K a month from wholesaling. And we are going to do an urgent one today, and I'm going to walk you through the steps, the processes, and I'm going to break the whole thing down. We're going old school today with the whiteboard. Why? Because I love these things, because I can take what's in here and I can give it to you, and then you guys can write it down. It's recorded, it's live. Guys, I don't do teleprompters. I do wholesaling. I've been doing this almost 22 years. And what I want to share with you is the fastest path to get to 25,000. Now, I want you to understand, I never said the easiest path. If you want the easiest path, or what you perceive the easiest path, go find a guru that's going to charge you a huge number that walks around and does stages all over the country, because all they do is focus on selling. They don't focus on wholesaling. You need an actionable plan. Today, I'm going to walk you through a 5-step action plan, and I promise you this. If you will follow it, if you will execute, if you will follow through, if you get fired up about wholesaling, you can make this happen. Let me know in the comments. Introduce yourselves. Let us know what market you are. By the way, we just got back from Orlando. I mean, what an amazing event. Over 155 people that are dedicated to their craft of wholesaling. And everyone will tell you, anybody took part of the Flip with Rick community, either through freewholesaling.com or Flip with Rick Plus, is I go over pretty much the same stuff. Why? Because I've been doing this almost 22 years. And what most of you guys are missing is the fundamentals of wholesaling. You're too busy chasing down the latest, greatest, shiny object. And I'm here to tell you today, I'm going to break down step by step. So let's stop wasting time. Let's get right into it. Use the comments, guys. Share the wealth, share the knowledge, make a good friend here, and we'll get going from there. Now, before we get started, before we start sharing the plan with you, you've got to understand, how do I get the right wholesaling deal? And I'm here to tell you, most people in wholesaling are chasing the wrong type of sellers. And keep in mind, if you're chasing the wrong type of sellers, you're wasting your time. It means you're going to be busy. You guys hear me all the time. I say busy people are broke, because they never find their directional compass inside their head on where they need to go. Now, I get it. It's confusing as hell. There's so many people out there telling you what to do. So what I like to do is take aside what people say, and then I like to look at what they do. I've been in this business going on 22 years. I haven't gone anywhere. I don't do the latest, greatest gimmick. I show you what works, and then we add modern day tools to help you become more effective, become much faster at wholesaling. And we always try it out in my business, my Flip with Rick business. I am a wholesaler at heart. I do the local market in South Florida, and I do all over the country. While I was in Orlando, I did 4 deals. And I wasn't even in my business. And that's what I want to teach you today. Most of you are trying to automate, have everybody outsource, have everybody do everything for you. You're going to fail miserably if you do that. You actually have to do the work. You actually have to go out and you have to find great wholesale deals. And today, that's what we're going to focus on, mostly on it. So let's dive right into it and let's get going. So we have to understand, what are the fundamentals of wholesaling? So we talk about the fundamentals. Everybody skips this process, and they want to know why they are all over the board, why they have such crappy leads, and why they're talking to people that aren't even slightly motivated in wholesaling. Welcome to the spin game in wholesaling. This business is simple. I'm telling you, it's the gurus, the influencers that are making it so complex. Do I go to MLS? Do I seek out a broker? What do I do? Sounds sexy, but it's not going to work as a new wholesaler. I'm adamant about this because I'm going on 22 years, and that's not the way you're going to get a deal. It's a way to the ultimate confusion, and it'll absolutely waste your time. So the fundamentals of wholesaling. If you don't get clarity on this piece, don't watch the rest of the video, because you're literally going to be wasting your time. And what we have to understand, first of all, if you want to get the fundamentals of wholesaling, I'm going to put it right up here. I make it super, super simple. You see that little thing right there? Where is it? Right there, freewholesaling.com. We lay it out. I know it's absolutely insanity that me and Zach created a course that's 100% free, doesn't require a credit card, and actually gives you the skills, the knowledge, everything that had pulled down the fire paywall and just give it to you. Why on heck would I do that? Number one, I don't do anything like any other influencer you'll see online. Why? Because I believe in you. I believe if you have the knowledge and the power of how wholesaling works, you can actually do damage. If I sit here and try to collect 5 and 10 grand from every one of you, I'm trading my time for money. I'm doing the opposite of what I teach you. So I would never, ever do that. So if you're going to find a coach that will go one-on-one, unless they're in your local market and they have a stellar reputation, I would never do it because they're telling you right off the bat, they're that slow, they can coach you one-on-one. I could never do that. I have way too many deals I got to work on. I have way too many people I want to help out. And the highest and best use of my time is to create a community of like-minded wholesalers. See the keyword? I didn't say creative financing. I didn't say lease option. I can teach you all that. My primary focus is always going to be on wholesaling. It is the greatest gift that God ever gave to me outside of my children and my wife. And I'm here to tell you, I have to spread the word. I am like giving you the sermon on wholesaling. Okay? Why? Because it's easy for me to convince anyone of something that's worked almost 22 years of my life and has given me such abundance. And abundance is much more than time. Now, the fundamentals of wholesaling real estate. First, go to freewholesaling.com. I already taught you that. The next thing is we have to deal with what we call motivated seller. And I know this is a tired terminology. I even heard someone say there's no such thing as one anymore. Anyone who tells you there's no such thing as a motivated seller is a really bad marketer. It means they can't find them and they give up. Why would you follow someone like that? I'm here to tell you, it is a much more misleading terminology. Okay, there's two types of sellers. Got it? There is the motivated seller, right? What's a motivated seller? This is someone that usually has they're going to have a financial issue. Usually it's financial. It's a loss of something. It's stress. And listen, we all have stress, but we got into wholesaling so we could solve people's problems. If we can solve people's problems, sometimes people get into real estate and they can't afford it anymore. They lost their job. They're being foreclosed on. They can't afford the property, or they had a huge financial hit. A lot of people go, Rick, don't you take advantage of those people? No, I help those people out. You know how I help those people out? I give them solutions. You know how I give them solutions? I use these two things God gave me and I listen to them. I become educated, freewholesaling.com, and I listen to live streams just like this so I can understand it. So that's going to be number one. Number two, you're going to have a motivated, ready for this? House. And what's a motivated house? Ugly, repairs, just bad house. I can't stress this anymore. You're looking for either a motivated seller or a motivated house. Does everybody understand that? Now, in the perfect world, and in the perfect trifecta world, these will all be in one. Now, the reality is, I'm here to tell you, it's not super common to get them both. Now, if I find a house that the house is just terrible, there's a hole in the ceiling, there's fleas biting me up, the house is in foreclosure, the seller's having issues, this is one I'm going to keep in my follow-ups forever until I just don't have a chance to buy it. Once a house is motivated, it should stay in your follow-ups. People always ask me, Rick, which leads do I continue to follow up? When a house is ugly, it needs a ton of repairs, and it's in bad condition, eventually that house will have to trade hands. You have to understand this. Nobody chooses to leave their house in this situation. Bad things happen to really great people. Our job is to help them. Find solutions. We don't take advantage of anybody. If you're in this business to do that, get out now. Okay, I have to sleep well at night. I want to help people out. I run a legitimate business. We got to get rid of bad wholesalers. We do not need states and federal governments to regulate us. We definitely don't need influencers to regulate us. You know who we need to regulate us? Ourselves, you guys. If you got bad character and bad ethics, it doesn't matter what you do, it's just going to be bad. So I'm looking for either or. Odds are you're probably going to find a motivated house. It's ugly, but the seller's in denial. Perfect. They just need time in the follow-up. If the seller's motivated, the house motivated, just make an offer, move forward. It's easy. Remember, we are not salespeople. I do not have sales training for you. You know why? Because you just have to make a common sense approach in wholesaling and help people out. And if you can help people out, you can do anything. So let's get into it because we got to figure out how to make that 25K. The first thing is, if you do not try to focus on people like this, everything you do is going to be a waste of time. So what I want to do right now is I want you to understand, I'm going to give you 3 rules. And Rick loves acronyms because I like to simplify my life. We have to come up with acronyms. If you're still in question what a motivated seller is, I don't care if you use the word or not. There's 3 rules. Ready? 3 rules for a motivated seller. And if you follow these rules, you'll answer your own questions of doubt. I've been through this 1,000 times, and I just figured this out over time. Okay, so 3 rules. Rule number 1. Rule number 1, guys. We're going to call this, I'm going to start marketing our new acronym, ODN. ODN. So we have an MCTP. I'm tired of explaining this rule because I can solve 90% of your problems if you just follow this rule. You ready? Oh, the first one. Off market. Does everybody understand what off market means? If you need a refresher course, let me give it to you. That means it's not in a public domain and being listed for sale. An example for a on-market deal is going to be MLS. It's going to be a Zillow FSBO. It's going to be marketed all over the internet. Maybe another wholesaler is bringing it to you. It doesn't matter. It's public. And what happens when properties are public, it means the homeowner has made the decision to go after the highest price they can normally get, and they have no idea the amount of drama they're going to have to go with it. And if it's an ugly property that goes on market, it's usually going to be a disaster. The market is really, really mean to people. So if you understand that, why would we want to seek off-market properties? Number 1, you have little to zero competition, hands down. If you are going to get in a bidding war in wholesaling, you're going to lose. I don't want you to pay the most for it. How do we avoid doing that? We go to off-market properties. They are easier. It is a direct path to getting a wholesaling deal, and it means you usually have a problem property. Now, I know I get used out of text all the time. I'm not a politician, thank God, but I'm here to tell you, can you get deals on on-market properties? You can. You can. I mean, I could go on and on. Like, you can really do anything. What are your odds of getting a great wholesale deal on an on-market property? Very slim. Don't believe me? Ask people in the comments and let them know if these numbers. Yes, this is pre-recorded for you. I'm here to tell you, man, if you don't understand how that works, off market's where you want to be, because the seller has not made a final decision, because a lot of off market properties, they don't know what to do with them. And you, the wholesaler, is supposed to provide a solution for them. The best deals always come from off market. I don't care what anybody says. If they tell you otherwise, ask them if they have a course to sell you. And it's typically, listen, I could sell you courses all day long on how to get deals on the MLS and how to do this, but you're going to have to dig through thousands and thousands of leads only to get a marginal deal. They'll be really, really bad, in my opinion. Now, keep in mind, you can do that. I'm giving you the path to make 25K. Off-market deals typically don't make a ton of money unless you have an incredible system and incredible experience. And most of you are getting started on your wholesaling journey. Let's be brutally honest. Find off-market deals. I hate on-market deals. I still do them, but they usually suck. End of story. Don't believe me? Look at your numbers. Look where the best deals come from. You've got to understand. Number two, this is simple. Direct to who? The seller. Once you have a middleman, you then become what we call transactional. Transactional is what realtors do. I list a pretty property. I go for a ridiculous price 9 times out of 10. And then I have people submit offers and I sort out the best offer. Guys, I'm not saying every realtor does it that way, but they're going to treat you transactional if you are not direct to seller. If you're not direct to seller, what's the opposite? If you have representation of a realtor, a broker, sometimes even real estate agents lawyers get involved in this. And honestly, lawyers are some of the worst negotiators you'll ever meet in your life. Because whenever a lawyer negotiates, I get nervous. Their job is to study the law. They are not good negotiators. They're very black and white. And a good business person knows how to negotiate. Guys, you can't get a great deal. You can't get a relationship with a seller if you can't even talk to them. Let's just admit it. So you submit an offer to a realtor. Oh, yeah. This guy or gal taught me how to use MLS, and I just called a realtor directly. Let me show you how this works. You can go through a 30-minute conversation with a realtor. You can go through a 30-minute conversation with a friend of the seller. Here's how it's going to go. Spend 30 minutes with them. Hey, this guy offered you $100K. You want to take it? Oh, that's terrible. Oh, no. Didn't explain any of the solutions or the benefits we offer as a wholesaler. And for that reason, if you do not go direct to seller, your story won't get there and you have zero shot of making a connection by using your rapport building skills we teach you at freewholesaling.com. Guys, do not fall in this trap. Direct to seller is the key to getting a deal. Let me ask you, if you ever want to get something done with your family, you have to go directly to them. You got to look them in the eye and you got to sell them passionately of why you want to go somewhere. When it comes to a seller, I'm not even asking you to sell them. If you can't deal directly with them, you have a very, very slim shot of getting your message. So you definitely won't get a relationship with them. And at the end, you'll be nothing more than a transactional wholesaler. If you want to be a transactional wholesaler, go on some of the paid discords. They'll teach you how to be transactional. You're going to have 10,000 leads and find less than 0.25% of the people that will actually work with you. And they usually wind up being the most marginal deals. You're never going to get to $25K a month doing that. My opinion, guys, my opinion. I'm sure people have others on it. Let's go from there. Number 3, I only focus on people that need to sell. Guys, I know this. I'm going to go over the 25K, but if you don't understand what you're looking for, you're wasting your time in wholesaling. This whole fact is skipped by the entire wholesale guru education. They just skip it. Go out there recklessly. Find someone who needs to sell their house. It's some of the worst advice you can get. If you do not have a compass and you're not pointing in the right direction, I do a lot of fishing. I get precise GPS numbers where I'm going. Why? Because the fish are there. If I do the other spray and pray approach, I just go out into that wide, vast ocean, and a majority of the ocean, 95%, have no fish. They tend to stick in the spots where they can find food, shelter, just like you and me do. So, need. Here's what most of you do. Who is somebody that needs to sell their house? Okay. If I need to sell the house, it needs to get done. I don't have time for pretty bells and whistles. I need to get it done. But here's the problem. Most of you go out there and you focus on people who want to sell. These people, they're not toxic. They're not bad. They're just people, I'm going to waste my time, energy, and possibly money with them. If you waste your time on people that want to sell their house, Rick, who's somebody who wants to sell my house? I'm going to list it on MLS. The realtor told me it's worth $275, but we're going to list it at $339,999. Okay, you're looking at 3 to 6 months before you even sell that thing. I want nothing to do with somebody who wants to sell a house. They're a waste of my time. And in the beginning, when I started out wholesaling, I wasted a ton of time with these people. Trying to find people that just want to sell their house is a terrible strategy in wholesaling. You need to take the 3-rule approach: off market, direct to seller, and they need to sell. End of story. If you can't do the ODN, don't do wholesaling, because you're just going to spin your wheels. You're going to get broke. You're going to buy everyone's program out there to figure it out. You're going to come back to freewholesaling.com and go, damn, Rick and Zach told me exactly what to do, and I did the absolute complete opposite, and it ticked me off. Let me get this off the screen. I didn't mean to leave it up there the whole time. Okay, so now we have a game plan here, guys. Does everybody understand this part so far? Because I'm going to erase it. Don't worry. This is live and it's recorded. It's always free for you because you need to get the truth about wholesaling. If you don't understand this, fundamentals of wholesaling, motivated seller, motivated house, we have 3 rules: ODN, off market, direct to seller. We need to find people that need to sell their house. Who needs to sell their house? My house is in pre-foreclosure. I need to bail my son out of jail. My house is a train wreck. The tenant trashed the house. What do I do, Rick? Rick, I'm not meant to be a landlord. I need to get out of this. You hear the word need? That's what I want. People who want to sell a house, they use words like, what's your offer? What are you asking for the property? What price are you going to offer? I don't know yet. Here's my pitch to most people. What do you need to get rid of this house? What do you mean? What do you need to get rid of it? What you want and what you need are usually 2 different stories. If you focus all your energy on what people want, you're not going to get a lot done in life. So when we talk about wholesaling, it's all about need. Okay, everybody got it? Take a screenshot. Don't worry, it's recorded. Let's keep moving, and let's get into the mechanics of how we're going to get this done. Okay, I felt like if I didn't give you the rules, we would have problems. And Rick, hey, I'm working with the seller, and they're demanding this, demanding that. Honestly, I already know you don't have a motivated seller. Motivated sellers do not beat you up on deposits. They don't beat you up on inspections. Why? Because you are the only person that's offered them a solution. No realtor, no mortgage broker, nobody could fix their problem. And that's why you are in wholesaling. Okay, so hopefully everybody can see the board here. Awesome. So now let's get into this. Let's dive into it. Let's figure out how to get this done. Now, what I want to do is attack the list. So the first thing is we have to decide which method we're going to attack to get our 25K. I'm going to give you the highest probability because that's what you need when you start out. The reality is a lot of people struggle to get their first wholesale deal, and very few make it to 5. That 1 to 5 range is tough. Why? Because you guys don't have a plan. Today, you're going to walk away with a plan. So let's get it done. So here's what I want to do. We have to come up with a list to attack. Lists to attack. Once we have a list, then we can dive into this. Now, this isn't going to be anything new you didn't hear because I'm all about fundamentals. I am your peewee coach of wholesaling. Why? Because I've got to instill the basics into you. Most people want to skip the basics and do the most advanced stuff, and that's just human nature. You have to understand. So what's the first list we're going to attack? First one. Driving for dollars. Why do I like this? It is a visual list. I'm looking for crappy properties. Guys, I'm telling you, people sell courses on this stuff. You guys buy it. Start voting with your time and your money. Find people that truly want to help you out and not just want to take the coach of the coach's course. They're out there. They're flooding the market. They're trying to find a way to get in your back pocket. It's ridiculous. Driving for dollars. I'm going to give you a 30-second spiel on it. Drive around a neighborhood you're farming. If you're doing this locally, you can do this virtually online. Look for ugly houses, tall grasses, boarded up windows, blue tarps. They just look ugly. Do you need a course for that? I saw one up to $4,500 the other day. My God, I am giving the house away when I teach this stuff, okay? Why do I like this? Because you own the list, you earn the list, nobody else has that list. This is how I found probates. This is how I found the best deals and led me to my path to profit on probates, because most probates are vacant and sitting around. If you want to get a deal fast and you want to get to this 25K, you cannot do it without driving for dollars in the beginning. It is one of the fastest ways to get a deal. And most people are like, oh, I'm just too Rick. Look at me. I can't do driving for dollars. Hell, I do it. I actually enjoy it. It's like a sport to me. It's like hunting. Go out and hunt for that 25K. Make sure you get this done and do that. The next one, you guys are massively missing on this one. And this isn't a promo, but it is. ZachDiscord.com. Now, keep in mind, we are the only free Discord because we can afford it. It doesn't cost that much to open a Discord, but everyone wants to charge you 20, 30 bucks to get into these. They get 5,000, 10,000 members. And actually, it's a great business plan. But remember, those are sprinters. Sprinters will never last. Sprinters take the money quick as they can, and they keep moving to the next gig. Most of them move out of the country. If you have a real estate influencer who is associated with somebody who moved out of the country, remind them, you need to do business with quality people. I avoid these people like the plague. Every time they pitched me, I said, it's a terrible idea. You're just going to screw people over and you're going to bail with the country. And then people go to Portugal, they go to Dubai, they go to all these places. I'm right here in the United States because I don't run and hide, because I do this business honestly and ethically. So Zach Discord, what is this? This is just another form of social media, a much more interactive. Most people are under the age of 40, probably under the age of 30. Heck, could even be below the age of 25. And they connect with people like my son. Now, the really cool thing about this is I think around 9,000, 10,000 people in there. We have the fastest growing one. Deals are done here all day long. I just talked to somebody this morning who's done 7 deals. 7 deals just off the Discord. Why? It's very laser focused. You can pick the market. You can find JV partners on there. I'm telling you guys, it is unbelievable. Now, I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. I have to learn. I'm older. We have to learn new technologies. It's still foreign to me, but I'm telling you, the amount of transactions done in Discord, maybe there's other Discords out there. I haven't found a better quality one, but the really cool thing is it's free. It fits within our mantra, and we're doing deals. We do deals in it. You guys do deals in it, and we encourage it. I don't have a finder's fee when you guys connect and do a deal. Why? Because I truly want you to be successful, and you got to understand how to do this business. Now, the next part we're going to do, also, shoot, I'm just going to throw this in there, Facebook. Wholesaling houses for real. I emphasize the for real. Now, guys, there's a lot of Facebook groups out here, but here's the really cool one. This by far is the most active Facebook group in wholesaling. And I'm here to announce, in about 10 days, it will now be the largest Facebook group in the world for wholesaling. Here's the really cool part. We did it in less than 2.5 years. My predecessors, the people that did it, they didn't like me putting information on there for free because they didn't get paid. They took 15 years to build it up. I'm going to take them out in 2.5 years. Now, a big part of that is Zach. Zach's awesome with social media. There's very few people that can even touch my son with it, but he just wants people to get the truth. He wants to get all the information he can out there. Now, we have admins, we have an entire support staff, and we cut the crap out of there. Once a guru spins it out there, and here's the funny part, our ban list is one of the biggest lists I've ever seen in my life. Because people teach spamming and stuff, and I hate going in Facebook groups with that, but check it out, Wholesaling Houses for real. And we are about to put the tag on there, the largest Facebook group in the entire world for wholesaling, because it's truth. Go look at the numbers, compare them. If we can get this kind of growth in 3 years, imagine what it's going to be in like 7 and 10 years. No one's even going to compete with us. Why? We deliver more content. We don't get in your pockets. And we actually monitor and get rid of all the scammers out of there. It's expensive. It takes a lot of time and energy, but it's well worth it in the long run. Your reputation is absolutely everything in this business. So 15 years, the person who holds this right now, and we did it in 2.5 years. Why? because we're marketing maniacs. And here's the best part is all our members are high quality. I probably got about 40,000 people banned in there, mostly VAs and unethical wholesalers and people that just want to, everybody wants to do 1 or 2 deals and then sell a course. Who's teaching these people? I know who's doing it. Stop it. It's like, honestly, I don't think you should really be teaching other people until you harvest so much profit over 10 years, everybody comes to you naturally. That's how I wound up in this position. I never went out and go, how can I make millions of dollars teaching people wholesaling? It's ridiculous. We got to stop this. Okay, so now that we know that, now we're going to talk about the tried and true. Now, start with these guys. There's enough just to get you the 25K alone, but let's keep going here. So the next thing we're always going to talk about is going to be the government list. And so on the government list, understand this. Why do you keep pushing government lists? Do I get a commission off of it? No, I don't even get paid off of it. I give it to you because it works. Why is every wholesaling teacher just avoid government lists? Because they can't manipulate it to make money off of it. So to get the truth, and remember, the truth scares the crap out of most people. That's why I like attacking it, because our entire country, our entire world we're all glossed over on the truth. Wholesaling is no different. You got to get the government list. Why? Because they have the absolute highest motivations. Now, I'm going to kind of go in order. You know I'm going to attack probates because I'm Rick. I'm Probate Rick. Okay, where do I get these? You get them at the courthouse, your county courthouse. Everybody understand that? Next one. The next one I'm going to get. This is a must. I'm going to get the code violations. Remember, guys, you're going to get resistance on these. How do I overcome resistance? With persistence. You have to understand this. People are going to tell you, oh, no, I can't give it to you. I'm going to teach you that you just don't accept no. You keep moving forward. I teach you all these techniques in freewholesaling.com. Make sure you check it out. Overcome resistance with persistence. Don't forget that. I should sell t-shirts on it, but I'm not a guru, so I don't need to do that. Guys, I don't need to sell courses and all this other stuff. You know why? Because I actually do this business. I make a ton of money wholesaling, and I absolutely, like, if you can't tell from this live stream, I actually love this business. See, most people are in love on selling you on a course on wholesaling, and then they fall majorly short in delivering and executing. I do it the other way. I'm going to give you the tough love. I'm the father. I'm the uncle you never had. So where do we get code violations? You're going to get them at your city offices. They're going to be near like City Hall, stuff like that. And that's the best place to get those. Now, the ones I want to add to that I think are absolutely mandatory. Pre-foreclosures. Yes, I said pre-foreclosures. You're going to get those at your courthouse. Ready? Courthouse. And you're going to ask for NOD if it's available in your state, notice of default, or you're going to ask for Liz pendants. I'm too tall for this. I'm so glad Mama made me a tall boy, because there's some things we don't have choice in, but I'll take it because my wife wants me to get everything off the type counter, and there goes my ADHD. See, I got to bring it back in. Pre-foreclosures, you're going to go to the courthouse, ask for notice of default, NODs, which is the initial listing of a problematic loan, and then a Liz pendants is nothing more than the final lawsuit. It is official. It is a Latin word derived, meaning I'm going to sue you. Right? I assume that's it. So the last one I like to add to this, because you're already at the courthouse, why not add the evictions list? These are landlords kicking tenants out that are causing problems, not paying their rent. Maybe they trash the property. Where I get this, you're going to get this also at the courthouse. Now, this is going to be an easy list again. I'm going to put easy. Why? It's a public lawsuit, and they can't really hide anything on it. And you've got to understand that. So if you know that going into it, these are the government lists I want you guys to get. If you want to get a path to getting the 25K, driving for dollars, I gave you the online places where you can get great JVs. You can work with newbies. Me and Zach provide you tools that you can help people with skip tracing, doing research on properties. Most of you have the skill sets in freewholesaling.com. You can share. You can go out there and teach people that are brand new. You know that service that nobody ever offered to you other than Zach and Rick to actually help you get wholesale deals. This is where you're going to find like a lot of newbies. And you got one or two choices. You can either come from a helpful nature, or you can be, I know everything about wholesaling. You're doing it wrong. I'm super rich. You know, listen, lose your ego. Your ego is not going to help you. You're not as good as you think you are. I think that every day. I've done thousands and thousands of deals. I have people bragging on stages claiming in thousands that they are the best salesperson in the world when it comes to wholesaling. God, if you guys believe that, take it, because wholesaling is not sales. The only sales in wholesaling is selling you a course. That's it. And you got to become good at that. So you can do it one or two ways. You can become a super slick salesman and make wild claims that nobody can ever verify, or you could just do the business, keep doing deals, partner up with people inside of Flip with Rick, partner with people with sellmypaper.com. I choose the latter. Why? Because I run marathons. Sprinters never last. Do you know how many gurus I've watched in this business over my 22 years come and go? It's staggering. They all look really good and then poof, they disappear. Why is that? Because at some point, it's got to come to an end. They sell the crap out of you guys, and it just gets exhausting. Okay, back to this. Now, one last thing is, how do we market this, people? Let's do a crash course. On the probates, you're either going to send the letter, it's inside of Flip with Rick, or you're going to do a cold call. I like doing both. Everybody got that? Everybody got it. Now, code violations. One of my favorite techniques, and I'm always going to go with reverse driving for dollars, maybe cold call, and text. The next one's pre-foreclosures, and honestly, the best way to do this, hands down, is reverse driving for dollars. Yes, you can cold call them. Yes, you can text them, but unless I would only advise doing that if you do it virtually. Why? Because the goal with reverse driving for dollars is to engage the prospect to call us. Now, they're already avoiding the phone calls, right? They're definitely going to avoid the text. If I put a note on there and say, hey, Sally, I got a quick question for you. It's Rick and my virtual phone number. Are you going to call it? I am, because curiosity kills the cat. And our job as great marketers is, how can I connect ethically, legally to have that prospect engage with me? Reverse driving for dollars is that missing plug. Remember, as a good wholesaler, you got to be what? You got to be wildly what? Resourceful. Meaning you have to think on your feet and be willing to do things that most people just go, no way, I was never taught that. If you're a corporate employee, which I was, they don't teach you how to be resourceful. There's a department for everything. Here's a complaint department. Here's the human resource department. Here's the chargeback department. Here's the sales and marketing department. You always go to the department. You, as a wholesaler, are the department of everything. Embrace it. Take it. Enjoy it. It's going to stimulate your mind to the wildest. So many of you guys I work with are like, well, how do I do that? I go, I don't know. Let me ask you. If someone was going to leave you on a note in your door and your only goal is to have them call you and make sure they don't get chewed out, how are you going to leave that note? You're going to tickle their curiosity. That's how reverse driving for dollars works. I had a great live last night where I taught a nice guy named Chris. He did a ton of driving for dollars, reverse driving for dollars. And the problem is he had a note, and this is how his note read. So hopefully you can see it. And it had this, it had this, it had this, it had this, it had this. And then he said, call me. I don't know about you guys, but once I read about here, I'm probably done with you. I go, oh, he's one of these we buy a house guys. I don't want to deal with him. Now, are you going to respond to that note? Absolutely not. It's just the truth. I've tried it. Now, what if we take a note and we just, I'm giving you the exact plan, guys, because you need to understand how to engage these people. What if you have a note like this? Just a simple sticky note, chartreuse. Sally, I have a question for you. Call me. I'm going to have the number, Rick. Let me ask you this. Sally's going to call because she doesn't know if you're a friend. She doesn't know if you're an old acquaintance. She has no idea what's going on. All I know is Sally's house is in pre-foreclosure, and I want to help her out. Let me ask you this. Can you help Sally out if she doesn't call you? No. The answer is no. Your job is to engage your prospects legally and ethically. Now, if you do a bribe note or you put money with it, or you put an untrue statement like, if you don't call me, your house is going to be taken away tomorrow, that's going to land you in hot water. I want to create curiosity. Curious. The more curious they are, the more they are the call. This is how I do all direct mail marketing. This is how I do all reverse driving for dollars. My goal is to engage that prospect legally and ethically. And whoever calls me, I win. Even if they call me to chew out, I look at it as a huge win. Let me ask you, if someone doesn't call you, do you have a chance in buying their house? 100%. That's a hard no. And you have to understand that. So let's get past it. I'm getting a lot of stuff on it. You see how my brain works. It's a little scary sometimes, even for myself. But I enjoy it. And I understand this because I've spent, I don't know, hundreds of thousands of hours doing this. We have to understand this. So here's my government list. Probates. Get them from the county. You can do a letter or cold calling. We did code violations. You get them from the city office, usually associated with City Hall. Reverse driving for dollars, cold calling, and texting. And then we did reverse driving for dollars. So now we're down to evictions. You go, Rick, how are you going to deal with evictions? And evictions are easy. It's basically cold calling and texting. Now, can you do direct mail and all this other? You can, but I'm trying to show you the path to get to that 25K. So I want you to understand this. Everybody has this here. And I want you to understand, a lot of people get really confused in this area on the type of how to market. It's legitimate. So first of all, you've got to understand what are your capabilities. What are you committed to doing? A lot of you have to cold call because you're short on funds, and this is a way that you can mass market. And I'm fine with it. So what happens is the way skip tracing is going, guys, I'm not going to get into the details here, but what if we could all have ability to get skip trace numbers without all the limitations you have with every other software? So what you got to do is what I do. It's very, very simple. I like to simplify how I do marketing. And how do we simplify it? If you're going to skip trace someone, if you did it for free or you got it, then you can simply cold call anybody, right? Then I would take it over and then I would do the text as well. Does everybody understand that? And then you can add reverse driving for dollars. What I like to do is have it flow through the system just like this. Now, it doesn't matter the order, but you keep going. If you were to do direct mail, you put it at the top because it's the slowest and it takes the longest. But I'm going to cold call them. Then I'm going to do a text and a reverse driving for dollars. Here's the key is don't do it all at once because they're going to figure out what you're doing. But I like this. Why? Because it's an endless loop. Some people respond to cold calling. Some people actually like texting. I don't know why, but on evictions, the landlords tend to respond to text the best. I guess because they think it's more business-like, but I keep rotating it. I go to cold call. Next week, I'll put it in the text or the week after, and then I'll do the reverse driving for dollars, or I'll do this first and I keep it going. Why? Because some people like to get cold called. Don't ask me why. Some people like the text, and some people like the personal note on the door. Simplify your process. Either have a 1, 2, or 3-step approach, because if you already have the numbers, you're not wasting your time. I get it. Some of you don't have texting platforms. I get it. There's a cost to it. I have some things that are going to address that for you. So hang out with me and Zach, and we'll help you out with this. Does everybody understand it to this point? We're just scraping the iceberg here. If you got a question, put it in there. All this stuff, honestly, guys, people charge you thousands of dollars for this. Me and Zach are committed to bringing it to you. Okay, so you got to share the truth to everyone and let them know what's going on. So now we are going to roll over, and now we are going into, ready for this? Now we know where we know what we're looking for. I got my mental compass set. Okay, I'm going to use the fundamentals of wholesaling. Go to freewholesaling.com. I know what a motivated seller is. I'm going to use the 3 rules, the ODN. Off market, direct to seller, needs to sell. And then I'm going to attack these lists. I'm going to start with driving for dollars. I got Zach Discord. I got all my social media stuff, and then these government lists. Now, if you want more government lists, go over to freewholesaling.com. We're just scraping the iceberg here, but I got to get it started somewhere. And now what we're going to do is we're going to do a simple 5-step process to get you to that 25K. You're like, Rick, how do you have enough time? I have this incredible board my son bought me, and like, I'm old school. I think he's going to take it away from me next week, so I'm trying to get as much done as I can this week. But I push this little button, and it's like a magic thing. Now, I'm going to hit you with a lot of information here, but don't panic. I'll go through it. It's a lot of fun. So 5 steps to making 25K. And I'm going to probably erase this and write all over it. So step one, now we have to go through a process. We have our lists. Now we have to attack. This is where some of you drop the ball. I love you guys, but like, we have to attack. We have to simplify this. The first thing I would do is go over to freewholesaling.com, but let me just break it down. And a lot of this, I'm spoon feeding you freewholesaling.com to show you the type of content you get. Most gurus will put it behind a paywall and go, well, unless you pay me this, I can't get you this. Why don't I just give you the information? Guys, do you think I'm the only person that does this? I am at Wholesaling. I know that for a fact. Go over and check out Gary Vaynerchuk, Alex Hormozi. Like, I don't know why people still charge for this information. It's ridiculous. The money is in doing deals with you, making you successful, and go, Rick, hey, I want to do a deal with you. I had someone mail me a check on Friday for $8,000 because they felt obligated to give me money on a deal they did. Now, that money is going to go to charity. I'll share with that later on how that works with me. Yes, I have my own charity, but the idea is the more people I can help, the more money me and Zach will make. But most people want to take that money because I have to protect my time, because I went to a coaching course and they said to become a millionaire, I have to charge $10,000. I just got to find 100 people that'll pay me that. I disagree completely. I 100% disagree. So let's get back to helping. So number 1, get 5 qualified cash buyers. A lot of you go, I'm going to wait till the very end to do this. Don't. You can do it, but it's stressful. You understand. You have to start getting 5 qualified cash buyers. I'm going to give you a method on how to do that. Now, how are we going to do it? Zillow for Rents is still one of my favorites. It's easy. It's very public data. And you're like, Rick, why are you going to call them for rents? These are probably landlords that already own houses in that area, and they're always looking at their portfolio, and they think everything's a ripoff on MLS. Trust me, it works. Get their phone number. They'll openly talk to you. It's not a big deal. Facebook groups. You got to go in and scrape these Facebook groups. You're welcome to scrape our group, Wholesaling Houses for Real, the largest Facebook wholesaling group in the entire country. Go look at the numbers, look at the stats. And here's the really cool part. They are engaged people over the last 2.5 years, as opposed to a lot of these groups that have been built up 15 years. Most of those people are gone. And 9 times out of 10, they just keep pushing the same courses for pay, for play. And then they partner up with these people, come on. And then it's nothing more than an extreme marketing channel. Listen, I'm not faulting. I'm just telling you the truth. Like, I feel like I'm going to get taken out in wholesaling because I share so much truth. And I know it's not popular outside of you guys. And I'm okay with that, because it just makes me sick what's going on in this business as far as like the coaching. 95% failure ratio is disgusting. Okay, that's check number 1 there. Number 2, find 5 zips. So remember, we talked about targeting your wholesaling compass. So you know where to go find the sellers. And we've already taught you how to do that. Now you have to find out where your customers are. That's right. Your cash buyers are actually your customers. Oh, wait, Rick. I thought the sellers were my customers. No. Your cash buyers are the customer. Your seller is the product. I know that sounds cold, but the reality of the business, if I'm going to look at wholesaling as a business, my sellers are my product. My cash buyers are my customers. If you don't know what your customers want, you are going to be out of business super fast. So here's what you need to do. We need to find 5 zips. I mean zip codes. I know it's a hip word. We need to find the demand. This is the most important part. We have to find demand, because I've seen you guys get deals really good deals, but they're in the wrong place. How do we find the right demand? You got to find 5 zips where there's activity. How do I do that? You can use softwares. You can use list source. I teach an old school way. You need to find out where the transactions are going on for all cash. It's not that hard. Go over to freewholesaling.com. We'll teach you how to do that. Most importantly, I do not want you to waste your time. If you are contracting properties in areas that have a very, very small population, you are going to struggle to sell them. Period. End of story. You need to go where there's activity. How do I break down activity? You can break it down by zips. Find 5 of them. You're gonna have to guess in the beginning, but eventually the data will point you to where the demand is. If you don't have demand, you don't have customers. You don't have customers, you do not have a wholesaling business. Okay, check on number 2. Number 3, you ready? You have to execute. I cannot tell you this enough. I get so, you have to, I can't spell either. I'm going to keep that off there. Whatever. You guys, you don't work with me for my spelling, trust me, even though I'm actually a really good speller. You have to execute. This is where most of you fall asleep. Everything's exciting up to this point. Now we are down to executing. And what I like to do is give you simple techniques so you can go out and exercise, executing wholesaling. I like the word execute because you have to have precision, you have to move. Call it attack, execute, whatever it is. If you don't do this, it doesn't matter. Go, Rick, crap, you've already given me a ton. Look at this, Rick. You gave me this entire backboard, and then you gave me this, and now you want me to put it all together. Go over to freewholesaling.com, simplify it. I already tell you guys, I have ADHD. Honestly, this is a lot of information, but I've been doing it almost 22 years. In the beginning, if I saw that, I would probably freak out. I'm going to be brutally honest. But remember, bite-sized pieces, you take it down. Execution. Rick, how can we execute everything and stay on task? Awesome. Me and Zach have taught this method. I think we're going on 4 years now. It's called the 3-1-1 method. Simple. I like simplification. The simpler is your business, the more likely you are to execute it. So if we're going to do that, the first thing is the 3. This is the big one, okay? And this, so we know we have 3 aspects of wholesaling: marketing, acquisitions, and dispositions, period. We all know that marketing is the absolute most important. If you don't master this part, you're going to get killed. So however you proportion your time, 33% of your time, or we use a 3 for representation, you should be spending, if I was going to just take this for a whole 3 hours, if I had 5 hours in a day, 3 hours would be spent towards marketing. End of story. Remember, marketing is what's going to lead to acquisitions. So you go, Rick, well, wouldn't I have to put 3 hours towards acquisitions? Sometimes you do, but I promise you, if you don't put the 3 hours in the marketing, or a third of your time, your effort in the marketing, you don't have to worry about one-on-one because it won't work. So however you allocate your day, 3-1-1, it's a ratio. I'm not going to break down the math of it. That would be a third of your time. And then you know how the rest breaks down. 3 out of 5. No. 3 out of 5, that's 60% of your time. Am I right? Someone do the math for me. 3 out of 5, that would be 60% of my time would be on marketing. And honestly, a lot of you guys are going to spend 90 to 100% of your time because you got no deals working on. And so we need to get this active. If you do not allocate, if you spend all your time doing everything else, remember, marketing is the blood in your veins. If you can't get people in the door, if you can't talk to motivated sellers, you don't have to worry about acquisitions, and you don't have to worry about finding cash buyers. Now, the next step on this is going to be acquisitions. Now, are you thinking like 1 hour? Honestly, in the beginning, you'll probably spend a little bit more time because it's confusing. But if you do the marketing right and you learn how to build rapport with sellers, the acquisition should be about an hour of that time. So that's a third. That's 1 out of 3. So this winds up being a third, 60%. And then this will be it. The last one is you have to find cash buyers. Here's the problem with this. Most of you don't do that. And then you get a deal, and you will not know the value of getting a great cash buyer until you have a deal under contract, because you all get that panicked look. You know what you do? You call me and Zach. I go, just rattle through your cash buyers list, get it sold. Great deals get sold quick. Crappy deals take forever, and you just waste your time. So you got to use this 3-1-1 method. It works. I'm telling you, if you allot your time accordingly, it's not going to be perfect in the beginning when you start, but people always ask me, Zach, how do you allot your time to get all the stuff you need to get done? When it comes to wholesaling, there's just 3 phases. I'm going to spend a majority of my time on marketing, then I'm going to go into acquisitions, and really cash buyers is your dispositions part. Yes, you can do great in wholesaling without building a cash buyers list, but I'm going to be honest with you. It's stressful. Some of you guys only have 7, 10, 14-day windows. That's why we always implore you to get a 30-day inspection. Why? Because I know you guys are not attacking your cash buyers list. You're depending on me. And if you're doing that, that's where I'd go over to zachdiscord.com and find someone to help you out. I gave full disclosure. I'm not a hypocrite. My first year and a half, I did not figure out how to do dispo. Honestly, my plate was full. My ADHD was just expanded. And I would split a lot of deals with people out there. But I got wise to it. I had other people teach me, and I figured it out. So by importance, 3 is going to be your marketing. 1 is going to be your acquisitions. And then the other one is going to be building on your dispositions for your cash buyers. And if you follow this formula all through wholesaling, it will hold true. No matter how many deals you have, this will always hold true, and you have to understand that. So we've gone through step 1, 2, 3. If you have a question, put it in there yet. 60%, I appreciate it. As I said, it is what it is. So on step number 4, this is the follow-ups with the leads. Now, remember what I told you on this. I think I erased that part, didn't I? Yeah, I did. Okay. Well, you have to replay the video. Your follow-ups comes from what I say are typically going to be motivated houses. That's the biggest part of your follow-up. Meaning the house looks like crap. It's in terrible shape, but the reality is they just aren't ready to sell. This is where follow-ups come in huge with your leads. In fact, about 70% of your deals should come from your follow-ups. Why? Because life ain't perfect. So we find people with motivated houses, they show signs of distress. They have not made the final decision. The reality is people are scared, they're frightened, and it's overwhelming. It's a huge decision. Sometimes people selling their house is the biggest decision of their life. They have family members, they have kids in school, they have elderly parents. It's hard. I've been through every one of those decisions, and you have to carefully weigh on them. Sometimes it takes people years to make this decision. The problem is we can't tell. So we have to do this great little thing called follow-ups. Now, if you guys hang with me through X leads and stuff, I'll put a little X over here. I have the solution for this, but you're still going to have to put in the work and the effort. Don't rely on AI to do everything, but we have some really cool things we got coming up that are going to help you with the follow-ups. Because the problem with follow-ups, there's a lot of manual steps you have to do. And whenever you leave manual steps for humans to do, eventually they will screw up 1 or 2 of them. I am that person. Like I only have so much bandwidth. Okay, I got to click this, got to click this. I constantly have cheat sheets for what I do. Zach, on the other hand, just scrolls everything on his phone. He's got a photographic memory. He scares the crap out of me sometimes. So we are working on systems to eliminate the human screw up part, which is kind of the Rick part, because I'm human, man. I love to be human. The minute we don't become human, man, we all got to run. So I love what AI is doing, but follow-ups is everything. How do I do follow-ups? You need some type of CRM. You can use X Leads. You can use Podio. I don't care what it is, but if you're going to be serious about this business, get one. People are like, well, I can't pay $15 a month for like a Podio. Like, how serious are you in the business? To be honest with you, the first year, it doesn't make that big of a difference. It's not going to close deals for you. But the idea is you're working on hundreds, if not thousands of leads. There's no way you have the mental capacity. You got a Rick problem with ADHD, and you got to find a way to organize it. So the last one is step number 5. So we did that one. Step number 5 is one of my favorite parts. We call it reattack list that worked. So I'm here to tell you all those lists I shared with you on the other side of this board, everything I've gone on this live stream, I'm here to tell you not all of them are going to work. There's no guarantees in life. That's why I want you to try as many as possible. You need volume. Volume will make up for a lot of your shortcomings when you start out wholesaling. You don't know how to talk to people yet. Trust me, you'll get there. You'll learn it. You have to practice it. That's the technique. Ask people that go to my live events. I go, no, Rick, I got this down. I call them up and we still have issues. Why? Because I can tell people don't practice. Now, I've had the luxury of doing this over 21 years. I've had a hell of a lot of practice. And honestly, I could have spent a lot more time in front of the mirror or in front of family members or friends and worked out my spiel. A lot of people think what we do in wholesaling, it's like this slick version of like a sales training. It's not. The person that is the most educated, that does the best listening, that crafts the best solution and guides their clients, wins in wholesaling. That's it. If I could tell you there's a magic phrase that will close anybody in wholesaling, I would give it to you. Unfortunately, I haven't found it. Every guru seems to market you and tell you, hey, I have a magic script that'll get sellers falling in your hands. That's crap, okay? Confidence is coming from saying the things you believe in and you understand. So the first thing you got to understand is you have to believe in what you're doing. I used to work for a company and they made me sell crap I just didn't believe in. I saw it firsthand. It was ridiculous. And I gotta tell you, you're never gonna be good at something you don't believe in. If you don't believe in it, don't worry about it, you're done. So I believe when I meet with every seller, I am your best solution. Not only do I think, I know. I'm 100% confident if you work with Rick, if you work with any of my team members, with Zach, anybody on my staff, we will give you the utmost respect. We will hear you out and we will solve your problem without humiliating or embarrassing you and make it a seamless transaction. End of story. Most people that do business with us wind up hugging us, getting us gifts, and that means a lot to us. And you have to take the same approach. So number one, you got to believe in what you do. Now, we go and go, Rick, I just did 9 lists. 3 of them sucked. I don't care. Try it. When do you give up on a list? That's always the question. Honestly, if you can suck it up 1 year on a list and not get a deal, let's call it, baby. And I do this all the time. The problem is some of you guys go out and get the list once and you quit. And you want to know why you struggle in wholesaling? You can't quit after 1. It takes time. I even tell you guys that work with me in direct mail, you have to do a 3-month commitment to get into my program to be my partner. Why? Because statistically, that's what it takes to get the first contract in wholesaling. It's slow. It takes time to build momentum, and you're all going to freak out when you don't make money in your first month. I already know this. I walk you through it. So if we go 1 year and you don't get a deal, especially like I've gone 1 year in probates in the county I live in, it's a more wealthy county. I can't get them. They all go to the agents, and it's not that I can't afford to market. It just doesn't work. In fact, I went 19 months and we threw in the towel. And I have my own staff say, Rick, that doesn't work. So when we reattack, what we want to do is first is you want to look at the data. And then my favorite thing about data has this nasty habit of telling you the truth. So if you run real numbers like KPIs, key performance indicators, and you run data is valuable. Data will give you an education. It will teach you how to move forward when you fail, and it'll teach you how to become a better wholesaler. If you don't track data, you're a dead man walking, because you're just like, we all make up stories in our head. As Tony Robbins teaches us, the only thing that's stopping you getting what you want is the story you keep telling yourself inside your head. Data is like a report card. Now, I don't know about you guys, whenever I got my report card, I was nervous just to even open the package. I would just sit there and stare at it and go, oh my God. Why? Because I knew it was probably going to be bad. I wasn't a great student. I was a good person. I learned differently. And if most of you subscribe to me, understand, like, man, Rick's a little bit different. So, and you guys understand how I taught my son, but the skill sets I taught my son has made him beyond wealthy and just given him a path that I would have never even thought of in my early 20s. But I had to do it the hard way, and we all have to break the chains at some point. So when I get the data, even if it's bad data will point you towards good data. Okay, so you should keep stats on anything you do. I wasn't great at this when I started, and I could have saved a lot of energy. And what I do is I try to get rid of the stuff that's just not working. Why? Because I've tried it out for a year. And you know what I do? I find the good stuff and I 10x it, whatever you want. I give Grant Cardone credit for that one. 10x it, 5x it, 2x it, I don't care. Double down on the lists that work. And that is going to be the key to getting anything you want in wholesaling. But the problem is you got to step up the plate and you got to give the list a shot. My favorite is go, Rick, I tried to get that list and they said no. I told you they're going to say no. You have to overcome it. Resistance cannot stand up to persistence after a while. I didn't tell you to be nasty. You got to be nice about it. These are regular people in your community and you have to understand. You have to make it work. So I'm looking at comments as I do this because I can only do so much at one time. Now, there's a lot going on here. I agree. I don't want you to get overloaded. The idea is to get you the basics. So we got one last exercise we're going to do here, and then we'll shoot off with the questions because this is exhausting sometimes writing on this board. And you know what? I'm not even going to try to erase this side because that's too much. Everyone's got it. Don't worry. This is recorded. I'll share it with you. Now, I'm going to do one last section on here, which is going to tie everything together. So bear with me. If you're on a lunch break or something, hold on. I promise you, this will work for you. Okay, let's keep going here. We are working. It's a lot of work erasing a board sometimes. Okay. Let's do this. I'm getting a workout. Okay. So now we need to go through the questions. You're like, Rick, what are you talking about? You ever thought about this? Your who, your what, your where, and your why. All questions, right? Who, what, where, when, why. We're all taught this. This is how you can figure out anything if you want in life. So if I want to get to 25K a month, which is in my title up here, I have to define my wholesaling questions. Because if you can't answer these questions, there's no way to succeed in wholesaling. So who am I going after? Let me know in the answers. Who am I attacking in this? Who is going to do it? Who am I going to attack? And who is helping me get to the path? So number one, if it's just me, own it. That's fine. Guys, I did this business all by myself for 7 years. I was an idiot. I'm going to be honest with you. I didn't know any other path. Nobody taught me it. At the time, I didn't find anyone that was really that sophisticated when I did it. So what should have taken 2 years took me an extra 5. Now, who am I going to attack? I'm strictly going to find motivated sellers. And I gave you the 3 rules for that. And they're going to ring true. So you have 3 rules. ODN, ODN, ... That's my who of wholesaling. Everybody got that? Don't waste time with people that don't need to sell. They're a waste of time. Their story sounds so great, but every story is 20, 30 minutes long. If you do hundreds of them, it's a wasting time. Don't get me started on comping. That's a whole nother video. You guys got to stop comping. You're wasting your time comping. You want to be a realtor, sit here and comp all day. You want to be a wholesaler, answer the questions. 1, 2, who, what, where. Oh, I forgot when. You guys are not keeping me on track here. Okay. So now it's me and I'm going to attack motivated sellers. What is my what? You ever thought about what is your what? What are you doing? I have to remind every one of you, you are wholesaling. Okay? This is wholesaling I'm teaching. Most of you mix up real estate investing as, oh, Rick teaches real estate investing. I do. It is a broad term. It's extremely broad. That's like stocks and bonds. You know how many niches there are in that? It's ridiculous. Wholesaling is a niche of real estate investing. To me, it is the highest skill set. It is by far the lowest risk with the highest reward. And it's simple and straightforward. It doesn't mean it's easy. You got to go out and do hard work. Most of the courses you guys buy, they lie to you on this. That's why you guys write checks all the time. And I don't know about you, like I've bought courses a long time ago. And when I bought them, The reality is you're too embarrassed to admit you made a mistake, and some of you just quit and move on. The reality is, if you bought a bad course, raise your hand, because you're about 80% of you are all going to fall in that story. Maybe it got you motivated. Listen, God had a reason for you. Don't worry about it. Karma's a bitch with people like that just take your money and don't give you value. Turn that energy around. Go back into free wholesaling. Go, okay, listen, I'm going to figure this out, because Rick actually told me when I don't have any money, I'm a dangerous wholesaler, because I have to make it work. I have to stick to the fundamentals. I know I can't buy my way through it. And that is what I'm going to do wholesaling. I understand any other technique taught on MLS, taught with special agreements, creative financing, although really cool. And it's something that you can add to your portfolio. It will never replace wholesaling. In fact, those that are best with wholesaling, you don't believe me, go find the best people in this business. And you will find a common theme. They all started out wholesaling. You know why? Because they learned how to market, they learned how to talk to people, and they got really good at it. And if you can make money with no money, you can do anything you want in life. Wholesaling has opened up so many doors. Every business is easier for me because I am extremely resourceful in how I think and how I engage people in business. And you need to do the same. How do you do that? Wholesaling. When I get into MLS and all this other crap, is it wholesaling? Let's be brutally honest with you. It is not. And if we don't understand that, you have to understand that. I am in wholesaling. So you guys constantly bring me questions that aren't in wholesaling, which I'll still answer. But once you get out of the wholesaling, in my opinion, you're in the speculation side, and it is a completely different risk. Most people come to wholesaling, they don't have that luxury of risk. I can risk $2, $3, $5 million on a deal and speculate, but I've earned it over 20 years. Most of you starting out, you can't do that, and you're trying to follow people that basically tell you what you want to hear, and then you find out, holy crap, he's not wholesaling. Now, let's talk about the where. That's a big one. Where? You have to laser in your targets for wholesaling. What is your target? We've already talked about motivated sellers. Now you can define the lists you want to attack. Guys, if you are confused in wholesaling, write the who, what, where, when, and why, and just write it out. And honestly, if you can't answer them quickly, it means your compass, your wholesaling compass is spinning. I get it. There's so many people telling you what to do. You're going to have to make a decision. And here's what you're all scared you're going to miss the latest, greatest thing coming out. It's BS. Fundamentals is what works in wholesaling. It's what creates the most successful wholesalers, end of story. So we know we target the list. Some of you are going to specialize. Rick specializes in probates. I'm good at it. Hi, how did I find probates? I did driving for dollars. That led me to multi-million dollars in probates. Why? Because I said, hey, I keep finding this type of house. They take a little bit longer to close, but like the profit's like 3 to 4 times what a normal assignment contract is. If I did not do driving for dollars, I would have never figured out probates. Please understand that. Now, here's a big one. Let's jump down to when. You know, when's the best time to, like, when should I be wholesaling? Dude, you should be running out the door when you get off this video and attacking these lists. This is a resounding, I cannot scream this out. When? There's no better time than now. Okay? We are getting ready to roll into 2025, and we got to hit this sucker out of the park. And you know what? When people always, do not wait for New Year's. I will smack you upside the head if you wait till New Year's. Stop making New Year's resolutions. The worst one, you have an 88% failure ratio. And if you get a guru involved, it's going to be 95. Okay? We have to understand this. When? Now. You got to start learning now. You got to get in repetitions. We got to teach you consistency. This is going to take some time. This is what you don't find in courses. We have to do it now. Stop trying to put it off till tomorrow. It's not going to work. Start now. Don't wait till that diet January 1. Start now. Get it over with. The sooner you start, the better off you do. And here's a little gift for you. My favorite time to market and wholesaling, my biggest deal month is always, ready for this? December. Now, I struggled with this for a long time because I noticed all my fellow wholesalers took their foot off the gas. meaning they stop marketing in December. Wow, you got Christmas, you got the holidays, the kids get out of school, you got New Year's coming. Let's sit back and enjoy it. Screw that. Okay. December is the month everybody makes a decision. They got Christmas gifts. What comes after that? Big credit card bills. Next, huge New Year's resolutions. I'm going to move. I'm going to do this. I'm going to make this happen. Why do I like December? Because December is the same thing. Just call it. December is what we call the decision month. In fact, I have just nicknamed this December Decision Month or Decision December. I don't know which one rhymes better, but you see, this is the problem with marketing as a good wholesaler. We constantly think of ways to package and market stuff. The only difference between what I do and what all the other gurus do is I don't put a big price tag on it. I just teach it to you. So December is the decision month. I love it. So if I can't inspire you to start now, this is it. You think? And remember, this takes time to build momentum. Let's start now. What better gift to give yourself than go ahead and start wholesaling? Check it out. Go over to freewholesaling.com. Now, most importantly, let's talk about your why. And I would love you to put you guys in the comments. I do an entire exercise on this. What is your why? If you don't have a why statement, so take one of these dry erase markers and go to your bathroom mirror. Please don't use a Sharpie. And you're going to put your why up there. What is your belief? What is your why? Why do you do this? My statement is simple, and I share it with everyone because I'd rather show you what I do instead of tell you what I do, but I'm going to do both. My why is I wanted to spend more time with my children, unlike what my father did, and I want to have time to make great decisions in my life. When I worked in corporate America, it was constantly stress. I hated every minute of it, and I put in 12 years, and I made a huge mistake with it. And if I can help anybody watching this video, I'm here to tell you, stop playing it safe. Yes, I did wholesaling. Why? I had a full-time job. I had 2 small children and a wife that depended on me. But you know what? They deserve better than that. I'm an old school guy. Like, I believe that you should take care of your family. Wholesaling in the beginning was painful. It was hard. And it was not the easiest thing to do, meaning I didn't get instant gratification from it. But about 2 years later, my entire life changed. I was able to leave my corporate job. I was able to do whatever I want. And most importantly, I went back to my why, to spend time with the people I love the most, to be able to control it. And when I did that, everything changed in my life, all my decisions and everything. And from then on, I now had time to fix things. And then I got this crazy thing when I started solving all these problems. I got money. And I'm being honest with you, I got a hard lesson with money. I didn't know what to do with it. I spent it like everybody else does. I didn't learn the lessons from all the people I bought properties for. And then I spent too much money and I had to figure out. So I had to convert my cash from wholesaling and create wealth. And that was actually the inspiring part of the journey. I changed my fitness. I changed my spiritual. I have an incredible relationship with my wife and family. Do I need to show any more like my relationship with my son? I love this kid. He is so much fun to work with. I've spent so much time with him. It's because we really enjoy each other and we constantly push each other to help people. And he reminds me all the time, Rick, we have hundreds of thousands of people relying on us. We have to help them. We got to give them the truth of wholesaling. So how in the hell did I get to a point? My why is I just wanted to spend more time. You know why? My dad didn't spend any time with me. And I had this empty void from being a very, very little boy to right up to my mid-20s. And I vowed to never have my children feel that. Now, I have a daughter. I spent a lot of time with her. She didn't choose wholesaling. But I'm just like you. I just want my kids to be happy. And I want to do enjoyment. So how do I do my wholesaling business? Because I already had it successful. And how do I connect with others so I can do deals without being this cheesy guru guy? A lot of people think, I don't hate gurus. I'm actually friends with most of them. I just don't agree with how they do this business. Everything has to change. I used to have this landline phone and I got this big giant brick cell phone. And I was just like, this is crazy. I'll never use it. You guys know how that works out. We have to help people out. What is your freaking why? Like, tell it to me. And you know what? If you don't know it, figure it out. Write it on your bathroom mirror wall in erasable ink. And it should be like an elevator pitch. You should be able to just recite it and spit it out. Once the belief becomes true, then you just pick your conviction, which is your armor you put around me, and you go to work. And you don't stop caring what everybody thinks about you guys. I'm here to tell you, you can do anything you want in life. Wholesaling is not difficult. I can't repeat this enough, but you get inside your own head and you got to take charge. Stop playing everything safe, because honestly, that is your hell. That is your jail, in my opinion. And if you're comparing yourself to your workers next to you, it is not a good comparison. Here's the average person. Here's where wholesaling will put you. You're going to have to do a hell of a lot of work to get there. If you want help, me and Zach will help you out. I love everything you guys put on here. Let me see if I can hit some questions on here while we do it, and we'll go from there. But guys, find your why. And it should not start with money. Money has to be the end result. The reality is we all have problems. Here's the question is, choose your problems or your problems will be chosen for you. Don't believe me? Give it a shot. I promise you, if you do nothing, you will have problems delivered to your doorstep, and they're not fun problems. They're usually bills. It means you don't have enough time. When you have money, they're going to say, hey, Rick, do you want to expend that membership 2 years or 5 years? Let me know. One's $50,000, the other's $150,000. I'm like, I don't know. That's a tough decision. It's not a tough decision. It's a fun decision. But I get that luxury in wholesaling. I can tell in the beginning, I decided if I was going to pay my rent or I was going to pay my light bill. I have been there. We all have a story. We all have struggles. The question is, do you want to fix it? If you've chose wholesaling to take in your path, I want to help you out as much as I humanly possibly can. How do you do it? Start at freewholesaling.com. Guys, check us out at X Leads. If you're looking for a way to pull list, you want an all-in-one software, it's all there for you. Guys, it's not a requirement. It's just tools. We believe in it. We're tired of software companies not providing what needs to be provided in the marketplace. We need an all-in-one platform that Rick and Zach can train on, and we have the utmost confidence and belief in it, in the data, in the systems, and provide you the best tools so you can help with your follow-up. So what else we got? Guys, I think that's it. My mind is actually kind of blown away. So we got both sides of the boards. We've done everything. If you have any questions, do me a favor, go over to freewholesaling.com. If you want to leave a comment in here, you can leave it in there. I'll try to get all the questions answered. And guys, I love this business, man. I'm one of the most passionate people about wholesaling. I hear people talking about wholesaling as, I got to get out of it. It's like, it's fun. And you know what? Good wholesalers always stay in the business because they have a business they run. Wholesalers that leave to go on to be coaches means they probably weren't that good at wholesaling, and that's why they left. Because I have a business that runs without me. With or without me, it runs. I like being involved. I love coming to the office talking. I love doing deals. And matter of fact, as soon as I get off here, I'm going to jump on the Flip with Rick Plus. If you want to join and work with me, we have an opportunity. You can either do it through X Leads. We have an entire package. Or join me at Flip with Rick Plus. It's a small monthly membership, and you do a deal with it. You get it credited back for the year. And we're going to talk about deals. So if you want to join me, guys, I'll be on there in 5 minutes. If you want to find out more, flipwithrickplus.com. Go to X Leads. Guys, you have a path for $25K a month in wholesaling ASAP. If you can't follow and execute this, I'm not sure what I can do for you, but you're going to have to go out and do the work, because when this video is shut off, then you have to make a decision, and you're going to have to roll, and you are going to have to jump all over and make the 5 steps happen. Guys, if you want more details on it, go over to freewholesaling.com. This is Rick Ginn. I'll see you guys in Flip with Rick Plus in about 5 minutes. See you guys.